welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they wouldn't feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So I literally just posted a battle report versus the last person I got to play in a real life tournament this for 2020, and he actually just happened to be up in my area visiting family for the holiday. And so I got a phone call or a text actually going, hey, and going to be in your area, up for a game. And I said, of course. So it's going to be Warriors of the Dark Gods versus the Kingdom. Is this going to be Redemption or Retribution? So Phil was up in my area. He reached out to me, and of course, I'm like, absolutely. So we're going to be playing Marching Columns and Hold the Center, which I believe last game, and I didn't say it in my last battle report, we were playing Frontline Clash Hold the Center, which is why I just gave up on the objective. He had too many random movements, unbreakable units, and it literally looks like a rematch. I'm sorry for not posting the armies. We're trying, we are doing a couple of funky things, so we didn't want to post the armies right now. So going from left to right for what you see, though, I have my Mounted Yeoman, my Knight Aspirant. By the way, for those other fellow KOE players, I'm actually not bothering with the Impact Banner. At 100 points, I thought it was pricey. 110 points, I don't think it's worth it. And I actually had dropped it about a month and a half ago for Strider Banner on the Knight Aspirants. Then I've got my Crossbowmen, my Knights of the Realm with my BSB, and my Adept. I've got a Scorpion somewhere over there. On the other side of the hill, I have another Scorpion with my other unit of Mounted Yeomen. Then I have both units of Mounted Yeomen have 5-up armor. Got my 8 Grail Knights with my Master Druid. And then I've got my Duke, Duke Breslin, aka Duke Rockwolf, because it's on a rock. So we started going drop until the very end, and he had more drops than I did, so I ended up finishing first. And I said I want to go second. It's hold the center. It's usually the smarter play. So I Vanguard, get my Yeoman out of the way, and that's that. So at the end of my turn, so this is the end of the movement um, for first turn. So it's bottom first, end of movement. As you can see, I utilize the speed of my Yeoman to do a reform and then chaff up the right hand side of his line. That big blue with it's very well painted, but that big blue evil critter, I want nothing to do with that that model because it is a character. It's a barbarian chief with the it can only wound on 3s, AP 10. I'm trying to remember what magic weapon that is. Shieldbreaker. He's got Shieldbreaker on that. So I really don't want anything to do with it. The other chariot is a chosen chariot. And again, he's doing the whole random movement, if you remember from my last one I just put up. So he's got 2 units of 4 Wretched Ones, and he's got 2 Forsaken. So, and the old-fashioned Hell Cannon is actually a Behemoth, and then you've got the same model as last time being used Behemoth. The one on the left is a Adept of Evocation. The Hell Cannon is an Adept of Alchemy. And all 3 Warrior Bricks are Sword and Board with Lust. So he moves them up, and I'm going, I have to deal with these things. Because if I don't, I'm up a creek without a paddle. And when I'm looking at this, I'm like, you know what? If I double charge, I can possibly get my Knight Aspirants into the Forsaken one that's behind, and then I can get the Knights of the Realm into the other unit of Wretched One. So I'm like, you know what? This may not be a bad thing. I'll have 2 turns to beat on them. So I double charge that single um, Forsaken One that's right there in front. And I end up putting about 5 wounds, 5 out of 6 wounds on that. And I'm going, all right, that didn't go as planned. There are a couple of reasons why. Mainly, he got the right number of saves and that he needed, and he just stuck me there. And that's what that whole thing is supposed to be. I did go ahead and move my Green Knight to try to chaff up the Wretched Ones that are over there. So random movement is just it is just bonkers. But the Wretched Ones there don't have any AP, and what I ended up doing is I put Breath of Lady on my Knights of the Realm, and I put Stone Skin up on my Aspirants. So I'm like, all right, that's enough protection that I should be okay. And we'll go ahead and show this next picture here. That's pretty much a better view as to what's going on in terms of the combat. And that was it. Trying to do my best to quote unquote stay alive. So now here's the end of his top of 2, his end of his movement. As you can see, he charged into the yeoman with his one brick of warriors. He slid out his one character to the right, and he was trying to get around the flank with the behemoth. The issue is I saw it. I'm like, I don't care. You can have the flank. I'm going to go up the gut. Because last time he and I played, I gave a little too much respect to those units, and I gave up on the objective. This time, I figure I need to get that objective. So, let's see here. He's got the one Forsaken. He actually did move it into combat with the Knights of the Knight Aspirants, and he moved the other unit of Forsaken up, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to go up, hold the middle, and see what happens, because he figures if I charge him with the Grail Knights, then kind of house the hunter type of deal. He's just going to charge me, flank me, do all that evil goodness to Equitane Lance, and be able to break me rather easily, especially considering he's got 2 nasty chariots waiting there in the wind. So he, as I said, he charged in with the Forsaken One, and he did. Did he try to charge? Oh no! So he turned around during his magic phase. He cast not Quicksilver Lash. It's the other one, Molten Copper, on my Duke, and he does 2 wounds to my Duke. I make both my Aegis saves, and meanwhile, the way he did that is he rolled trip 6s, and he did 3 wounds to his own character. He did move the one unit of Wretched Ones into the Green Knight, and the Green Knight's actually hitting on 2s and wounding on 2s and is doing his job. I mean, he's a stubborn leadership 8, rerollable because the BSB's in range and the Damsel's in range. I do manage to kill that one Wretched One, and that other Wretched One was not touching my Knights of the Realm and was more than an inch away from the Knights of the Realm. So he couldn't move the Forsaken One so he could chaff me, because he still had to maintain that 1 inch away because it was not a charge. So over there, he actually killed them, and I missed saving the unit. I rolled 2 out of 8 6s. So he managed to go ahead and just completely kill that unit. Now, what I am going to do is just go back. So if you look at where my Knights of the Realm are and where his unit is, that Knights of the Realm can see that chariot up on the hill, can see that unit of infantry, could see the behemoth, but can also see all these other models over here. So what I did, oh, yep. So what I did is I ended up charging that one unit that you see here in the upper left. They fled, and then I redirect into that chariot because the warriors are lust. However, the chariots are greed, are chosen greed, so they're not going anywhere. And as always with a chariot, it's better to do the charging than to be charged. So I get summer growth off. I regrow 4 Knights of the Realm, and he ends up putting 1 wound. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to go in. I don't think it's going to go well for me. I'm going to try to kill the BSB and use great weapons. He puts 1 wound on my BSB out of 6 strength 6 and 2 strength 5s. And I managed to put 4 out of 5 wounds on that chosen chariot. So they break. I let that one run away because at this point it's on half leadership, and I end up going 2 wide. So this is the end of movement on turn 3. So as you can see, he ends up, he does rally that 1 unit that's in the back there, and he charges in with the 1 chariot and behemoth into the Grail Knights. I'm like, all right, and he's like, there's no buffs on. Now's the time to go ahead and do this. He charged in the warriors. He tried to get that 1 chariot into the flank, and it wasn't a bad. I think he needed like a 15 or 16 to get in, so it really was not a bad call on that charge. And he failed to make it in, which was very good for me. I'm sorry, this is end of my movement. But when he charged in with the chariot and behemoth, he's like, all right, I got this. I'm going to break that unit because the shield breaker and everything else. However, I challenge out. He's got 2 characters. I put a challenge out there. He kills my champion. He does 1 wound, and that was it. Because I had already reformed to be 4 wide. His other character, he did 3 impact hits. I made all 3 saves, and then he maybe did 1 wound, and I did my save there as well. So yes, a little lucky, but all in all, I was pretty happy. He's got 2 wounds on the character, and I think I end up winning that combat. Over here's that the Duke, my Duke, during my turn, goes in and just polishes off that wretched one that had 0 wounds on it, did 6. And as I said, he's in combat with my Knights of the Realm there, and I'm holding my own. I'm actually doing okay. I'm pretty happy about that. The one thing with Equitane, for those of you who don't play Equitane, the Knights, if they ever have 3 models in the second rank, it doesn't matter if they're 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide, 6 wide. If they have 3 models, they still count as having a rank. So I end up winning that combat there, but he sticks on the rerolls because, again, Warriors of the Dark Gods don't bother with BSBs. On his turn, he charges my chaff. I make my panic test over there. And during his turn, I managed to do 4 wounds, which kills 2 of those wretched ones. But meanwhile, he's starting to rack up the wounds on my Green Knight. That's 1 wound there. I think he ends up putting 2 wounds overall on the Green Knight. And let's see. I went backwards. Okay, so I go charging in with the Knight Aspirants over there as well. And I did try to charge the Chariot. I think I needed an 8 or 7 with Swift Stride. And as usual, I failed with the Duke, because if that Duke, trying to charge that Chariot on the upper right, if that Duke made it in, it's just lights out. I pop that Chariot, go in, and I'm really not concerned about the Warriors doing much damage to the Duke. During my magic phase, I do a couple of missteps. So I get Oaken Throne up, I cast Healing Waters on my Duke, bring back a Grail Knight. Then, and here's the then, I 5 dice Stone Skin. This was a mistake. I end up rolling trip sixes, blowing up my mage, but I did heal back the knight on my knights. So I now have a unit of 8 knights of the Grail that are resilience 7. But I lost my 465 point Master Druid. So that's how this looks. He ends up breaking and losing that combat because he can't roll sixes to wound me over here. So I do just enough wounds. His behemoth breaks and he rolls low enough because I was really concerned at this point that because I failed that charge, that I was going to get countercharged with that chariot in either my dukes or my knights in the realm. But he only rolls a 5 with his behemoth, and that puts the behemoth right in front of the chariot, which completely chaffs him. He goes, well, that sucked. And it did. At this point, this is the following combat. Again, I've got Oaken, I've got Stone Skin, I lost my mage, doesn't make a difference. And during his turn, he does rally the behemoth, and he nukes the Green Knight using Molten Copper. I stop Quicksilver, and he charged into my archers and just pulverize them. But, like I always say, they're peasants, they're meant to die. So at this point, I end up getting because he has to challenge, I decline. I don't have any characters in that unit other than the champion. I still have Stone Skin. He can't do a wound to me. I do sneak in just that one wound that's necessary over there. So now my Ground Knights can see just about everything I need them to see. And the one other thing is the chariots are large. And this is the way this happens. I charge with the Ground Knights into the Behemoth. The Behemoth flees. I redirect into the chariot up above. The Duke then charges into the warriors that's right in front of them, so that the knight aspirants that now have a line of sight to the warriors straight across can then make that charge. So this is how this whole mess looks at this point in time. So I've got the Grails going into that chariot. I've got the knight aspirants over there and the Duke. I end up just pulverizing that unit, putting one wound on his unit champion. Those 3 miles you see of the warriors are gone. The Grails pulverize the do 4. Yeah, I managed to get it down to basically 1 wound on the chariot. He does 1, 2, 3 wounds back to me, but he still breaks. But then he has to do his DTs, and he dies to the terrain because we're calling that a ruin in the back. Magic phase, I rolled the 8 phase, so I had 10 dice, and I only had 2 spells, so I 5 dice both of them, and he failed to stop both of them. So now I've got Savage Fury and Awaken the Beast on the Knight Aspirants. At this point, I'm actually liking that because his warriors are only AP 1. So 3 up, 6 up, I'll live with those odds. I mean, granted, he's got higher attacks, hitting on 3s, winning on 3s, but 3 up armor. As it stands, he doesn't kill any of my aspirants. They break and run down that unit. I roll boxcars, and then I turn to face. So this is just kind of. I just turn to face. I let that one guy go in the ruins. There's that combat. So this is what we have left on the board. And what's going to end up happening is he's going to take his unit of warriors, charge them into the Grail Knights. The Grail Knights actually win the combat. He sticks. And then, oh, let me go back. So because he charged me, I now charge in with my aspirants and my Duke. I obliterate that unit and turn to face that one remaining warrior that's in the ruins. My Knight aspirants start coming back around to take care because they have the Strider banner on them. And let's see. This is how I end up finishing, other than he tries to move as far away from the Duke as humanly possible. The Duke just runs into him, catches him, and he ends up taking out that bolt thrower. End of the day, it is a redemption for the kingdom, and it ends up being a 19-1. This was a very, very fun game. It felt great to be able to actually roll physical dice. And again, just a huge thank you to my opponent for coming on over and considering the pandemic and everything else. Just thank you so much for the game. This was a lot of fun. And even the game at Mountain Mayhem, which I lost, that was a lot of fun as well. So that's it. Until next time, happy gaming.